So, let's start with the E.I.T.H.R.
You're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast with E.I.T.H.R.
Welcome, everybody. This is DKL, hosting of the E.I.T.H.R podcast here from Northern California, from the GNS HQ. I appreciate your time for checking out episode number 75 of the E.I.T.H.R podcast. I want to give a shout out to some of the newer listeners that we got from Southern California, Los Angeles. We got some people in Texas. We have Seattle. We also got some people in Florida, a few more people in Puerto Rico, Alaska, Canada, as well as Taiwan, Philippines, Australia. This is great. The E.I.T.H.R podcast, for you guys who are new, is the elephant in the room. We like to talk about certain topics and issues going on in my life, your life, social media, things that are trending. And we try to keep everything from a non-biased perspective. So even though certain things I may agree with or don't agree with, I want everyone to listen to the podcast and have a more informed decision on whatever it is that you may have heard or some of the things that you may not be aware of. And I know in having talks with people, it can get a little crazy, especially if you don't agree with the masses. So this is kind of the forum that I express certain things where my voice can get heard, not some sort of a sense of reason. So you can go ahead and follow us on social media. Instagram and Twitter, the handles are the same. It's the E.I.T.H.R, T-H-E, E-I.T.H.R. You can also check out the YouTube page, which is our parent company, which kind of holds the umbrella for everything that we got going on. So on YouTube, you can just search for the GNS Inc., T-H-E, G-N-S-I-N-C. The GNS Inc. is also the handle for the TikTok handle. So we did a thing and got that platform. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but it's definitely turned into a rabbit hole that I didn't expect to turn into. And it's got some interesting videos and content on there that I will give credit where credit is due. So here at the E.I.T.H.R, we like to start everything off with a motivational, inspirational, and we also like to give things to shout out. So for shout out, what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles on just coming up a little bit short in the Super Bowl last night. And congratulations to Rihanna for her second child. We kind of understand why they call your boy ASAP, because he got you pregnant ASAP. I mean, hey, if it's good, it's great. I love it. I get it. Notice I didn't give any credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm a Raiders fan. So this Super Bowl was extremely painful. This season was extremely painful, bro. Like, I'm not even going to lie. But I didn't watch the game. I listened to it on the radio while I was out doing some stuff. And I checked in every now on social media. And I know there was a controversial call we're going to get into at the end of the game, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. You may not agree with it. I get it. But it is what it is. Also, if you guys can, you can download the Spreaker app, Spreaker. You can download the app, create a profile, and that way you can chat with me live while I'm doing any one of the episodes. And on the YouTube page, you can also go to the episodes and look at the previous 74 that we have done. But inspirational, motivational. Listen, you only have so many summers, so many falls, so many winters, and so many springs to achieve your goal. I saw this video of Eddie Murphy. He had just done a scene for a movie. I cannot think of the movie at the top of my head. But he basically says in this clip, the average person only has about 75 summers, 75 winters, 75 springs, 75 falls. And when you look at it from that perspective, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a lot of time. So, and I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they have this perception, I'll do this later. We live in a world where shit can happen at any point in time unexpectedly, and you never get that later. Or we live in a time also where we're moving so fast, the next thing you know, it's been 10 years later, and you never got a chance to step out and do that thing that you put off to. Now, either the season has passed you, or there's now multiple people doing it. The best time to get out of a bad investment is the moment you realize you're in one. And the best time to actually get into a great investment is the moment you realize there is one. So, to motivate by whatever it is that you have going on, ladies and gentlemen, do it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. And I'm telling you right now from personal experience, even if you're trying to sit back and wait for the perfect time, name anything in this world that's perfect. Now, there might be something that's perfect for you, and that's your version of perfection. I get it. But outside of that, there isn't anything that's perfect. So start now. Don't wait. You can get in there, and you can figure it out as you're going along. I promise you. Especially if you're trying something that's brand new and no one else has done it around you. The beauty about that is there's nobody to tell you what you're doing wrong because it hasn't been done before. So you're going to be the one that kind of takes that lump, but you're also the one who's going to set the trend and set the tone for what's about to happen. We're going to get right into the E.I.T.H.R podcast right after this. Shout out from our sponsor. Be right back.
Hi everyone, this is Kelsey and I'm the Vice Chief of Editing of the World Update. We're the branch of the GNS Inc. that are going to be responsible for presenting you with encouraging and uplifting news and updates that are happening within the local, regional, and global things that are going on. We feel there's enough bad news being broadcast in our lives, so why not hear something good? Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at _U_. Let's update and uplift.
Hey, this your girl Key, and I'm calling from Compton, and you listening to E.I.T.H.R podcast with D-Cal.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So, here's what I wanted to talk about real quick. The Super Bowl. Okay, as I said, I'm not necessarily a fan of either team. And football, my own personal reasons, nothing political, but my own personal reason, I don't really watch it as much as I used to. I have a lot going on. But at the end of the game, there was a penalty that was called, a holding penalty, which gave the Chiefs, I'm assuming, the yards they needed to get into field goal range so that way they can kick the winning field goal and win the game. Now, the defensive player of the Philadelphia Eagles, I do not remember my man's name to save my life, he admitted to making the foul. He said it. I held. I was hoping they wouldn't catch it. They caught it. It is what it is. Okay. That's all there is to it. I get it. The man confessed to the crime. The penalty was assessed. The yardage was given. The Chiefs went on to win the game. Here's my biggest issue with situations like that. Now, this is my opinion. The late, great John Madden, head coach of the Oakland, Los Angeles Raiders, he said this in the past. Holding happens on every single play, meaning for the offensive line and the defensive line. Holding happens on every single play. It's just a matter of whether the referees want to throw the flag or not. if you ever watch a cornerback, a defensive back, and a wide receiver, they're always hand fighting for position. It's common, right? The issue with this is it's difficult to let a play, a call, a penalty like that dictate the game at that moment. Because you have the old saying that says, let them play. Right? They're football players, let them play. Let them decide it on the field. And I understand that. Me personally, I'm more of that. I'm more for that. But then again, I've also grew up in an era in football where the rules were different, the mindset was different, the players were different, the game was different. It's not that no more. We have to adapt, right? Adapt to die. And I get that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the officials should be the ones who determine something that happens on a regular basis during any given football game. Did it obstruct the route of the receiver? Didn't appear to be. Did he tug on the jersey? That's something that every corner has learned to do in the game. It's the NFL has been so set up and designed now to where the defensive player really has no leverage on the football field. Because, let's face it, offense sells tickets. Everybody wants to see 7,000 passing yards in the first quarter. That's what's hot right now, right? So when you're in a position where you make the defense have no chance of defending, the last thing this player wants to do is get chewed out on the sideline by his coach. So he does something that happens on a regular basis. It wasn't something from what I've seen in the highlights, in the replay, it was not something that caused the receiver to not be able to make a play on the ball. Because it appeared to happen within the first 5 yards. Now, from my understanding, again, I could be 100% wrong, but from my understanding, if anything happens in the first 5 yards, it's free game, right? This is a figurative, not a literal, for all the people listen to this. You can mug the receiver. And when I say that, again, I mean, you can jam him. You can prevent him from getting off the line of scrimmage so cleanly. You can disrupt the route by hitting him in the shoulder, punching him in the chest with both fists, like kind of holding him temporarily in a position. You can do that. This play did not look in any way like it prevented that receiver from making a play on the route. So I think it was a call that bailed the receiver out. And hey, man, you can say the NFL is rigged or not, but the NFL and the NBA has been determined to recognize themselves no longer as sports, but as entertainment. You can do what you want with that. So it doesn't mean that everybody's in on the rigging, since everyone say the NFL is rigged. But all it takes is a handful of people to be in the know. All you got to have is one player, one coach, one official, one coordinator. That's it. How many times have you seen in the linesmen, the people on the sideline, get the downs wrong? That delay in the game can stop the momentum. So there's so many different variables in this game, and we're not even going to talk about the instant replay crap, because that's just going to make it worse. So we're going to move on to the next topic that I want to talk about, man. So we took care of the Super Bowl thing. Again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for coming up just short, and the other team, yeah, that's cool. So listen, Valentine is tomorrow. Whether anybody's forward with it, appreciate it, can't wait for it, anticipating it, dreading it, whatever the case may be. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. Holidays to me, man, are one of those, every day should be anything. That's me. Holidays, I'm not going to say they're overrated. I'm not going to say they're oversaturated. But I'm going to say I'm over them. Every day should be Mother's Day. Every day should be a Father's Day. Every day should be a Valentine's Day. Every day should be a Christmas. Every weekend should be summer break. Like that's just me and how I feel. But one of the issues that I've noticed a lot is on social media, particularly in certain groups of people, is relationships. Now, I know you guys have heard about the whole passport bros, right? Men getting their passports and going overseas looking for agreeable wives or women to be wives or whatever the case is. I know you've heard situations about people wanting to be fill in the blank, man. Boss bitches, all this fun stuff. Listen, I get it, bro. I 100% get it. Everybody wants to be the alpha. Everybody wants to be the alpha in their own world, and that makes sense. My mindset is this with Valentine's. A lot of people are missing a key component in relationship. And the key component in a relationship, from my experience, is really simple. What makes you happy? Forget everything else. What makes you happy as an individual? As an individual, whether you identify as a man, whether you identify as a woman, what makes you happy? What are you attracted to? Now, keep in mind, because what you are attracted to, you also attract to you. So if you happen to be somebody who is dating a certain type of person and you notice a trend with your selection, whether infidelities, whether they're pathological liars, whether they have issues with finances, whether they have a lack of ambition, whether they're manipulative, whether they're loud and obnoxious, whether they're combative and confrontational. You have to ask yourself, are you that character or you these characters? Do these things resonate within you? Because you are the company that you keep. And if you notice that you are attracting a certain group over and over and over again, you might want to ask yourself, okay, what is it about me that I might need to adjust? Start there, right? Start there. I don't care if you are in a relationship with somebody currently right now. You might want to ask yourself, am I happy? If you are happy, not content, not settling, happy in that relationship, are you happy with yourself? If the answer is yes to both of those questions, there's no need to go anyplace else. If you're happy with yourself but not in that relationship, you may have a decision to make. If you're happy in that relationship but you're not happy with yourself, you have a decision to make. Because I think we've all been raised and trained to believe our partner's responsibility is our happiness. And as life goes on, and we've also seen with some examples with the Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith situation, it's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy. Now, is their responsibility to contribute to your happiness? Sure. But if you don't know what makes you happy, how can someone else please you with something that you are not aware of what you're looking for? Facts. Straight facts. Right? So that's something for myself that I had to look in to see, why are all my relationships tend to end like damn near 3 years? And the reason for that, one reason for that, is I self-sabotage. Didn't even realize it, didn't even know what it was. Because I would anticipate something happening. I was already programming myself, this is about to happen. It's I spoke it into existence. I was so focused on it becoming a reality that I was completely ignoring everything else that was going on around me because I was focusing just on that. When you go look for a car to buy and you find a car that you like, you find a car that you love, what do you notice when you leave the parking lot? When you leave that sales lot, you see that car everywhere on the road. No, because that's just where your attention is. Your attention is set to that. So your radar is honed in on that. And most of us take that as a sign, as this is the car I need to get. No, that's just the car that you're focused on. Same with relationships. What is your goal? Some of us get into relationships simply because it brings us a certain status amongst people and peers that we are around on a daily basis. Or we emulate. We get with certain people because that image, that look, that is what is popular. That's what trend, that's what you're supposed to do. No. Monkey see, monkey do. No. Listen, if the person that you are with, man, if that person does not make you feel comfortable, safe, and secure, and I'm talking about for both people, comfortable, safe, and secure. Maybe there's some work that can be done to rectify and create that feeling. Maybe it's there and you just got to dig a little deeper for it. 8 times out of 10, though, it's usually something internal within yourself that you're not being honest with, or that you're denying, or you haven't discovered. And your partner, whoever it may be, man, they should want to bring the best out of you. Not to make you just complacent at whatever it is. Now, there's a difference between giving up and walking away. When you walk away from something, in my opinion, is because you gave everything your all. When you give up, you didn't even try to expel your whole tank. You just gave up. It defeated you. Relationships are no different. And if you could be honest with your partner and let them know, this is the reason why this isn't working. And don't say it because you think the grass is greener on the other side. Say it because you watered your grass the best you can. And that soil, that foundation was just no good. Then you can walk away and know you gave it your all with no regret. No regret. So make sure, man, if, even like I said, for tomorrow, Valentine's Day, have a talk with your partner, have a conversation with them, chop it up with them. You can never get to know your partner enough. And again, I think in a lot of situations is we're afraid to share things with a partner because in today's world, everyone's afraid of being exposed, lied to, used, or being the fool. Listen, life's a risk. And again, if you're with somebody, man, that makes you feel safe, comfortable, and secure, you found home. Straight up, you found home. Another thing I want to talk about, I saw this on TikTok. This really bothered me. Matter of fact, this wasn't on TikTok, I apologize. This was an article that I saw on Newsbreak. It's an app that I have on my phone. And there was a video posted on TikTok November 9th of 2022. Long story short, a mother was packing her son lunch. And the son comes home and says, you have a friend that doesn't eat lunch and they can't afford it. They don't have lunch. They don't have any food. So the mother packed the son extra food. And long story short, the kid got in trouble for having excess food at school. So the mom couldn't understand why her son got in trouble for this. Well, it turns out the school did not want her giving her son extra food to give to the other boy. And the other boy says the only time he gets to eat is at school. That's the only time he has food is at school. And trust me, there's a boatload of kids in this situation right now in 2023. Why? I don't know. But it is. It's not new. I just think it's become a bigger issue because of how we communicate and how we get our information. And the mother says she's not going to stop, even though the school reprimanded her for giving her child extra food for this kid. I don't know how the school can justify telling a parent not to take care of another child in need. Like there's a certain type of empathy I feel is being missed, and there's a certain type of connection and relation that people are having with their children. Now there's another video I saw on social media where there was a teacher who literally, cussed out 5th grader or 6th grader because this student apparently put his hand on another female student. And you can tell this teacher had enough. And yes, there's people who were saying that the teacher is not right and she deserves to lose her job and you don't talk to kids that way. Listen, teachers, this is sarcasm for anybody who wants to troll or get triggered on this. Teachers only make about $8 a year. That's what it feels like, right? But they're teaching not for the money, they're teaching for the passion. They're teaching because they want these children to learn. These teachers are teaching your babies. They're teaching my baby. These kids mimic whatever they see at home. Hello? Your kid is watching. And kids don't necessarily know better, so they act what they see. And they try to figure it out as they get older. But it also embeds in their character because it's what they covet. This teacher who cussed this kid out, one, like I said, you could tell this woman was tired, unappreciated, underpaid, and overworked. I'm not saying she's right for what she said to the student. Matter of fact, she was wrong for what she said to the student. But if any of you are teachers out there, doesn't matter what state, doesn't matter what city, doesn't matter what town, doesn't matter what district, and you see that your district isn't doing anything to assist you with these children, your hands are tied, your feet are shackled, and you can't do anything, and they're expecting you to have these numbers. What do you do when your passion is not being heard because of politics? I would love to get you guys' opinion on this. You can go ahead on the YouTube channel at the GNS Inc. This is episode number 75. And comment your opinion of what you feel about this. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the E.I.T.H.R. E.I.T.H.R. Let me know what you guys think about any of the topics that we talked about. I appreciate your time. I look forward to having another discussion with you guys. This has been the Eat the Podcast with D-Cal. You guys be good. Enjoy your tomorrow. Well, some of y'all. We out.
My name is Mary from Scotland and I'm listening to Decal on the E.I.T.H.R podcast. Good job, babe.